Hello, my enemies. Of course, this is the head of the Diaper Mafia, Mr. Baby Drek. And today I am very, very interested in my guest today. He is a very fascinating man. He's been involved with Troma for many years. He has this unique film, Curse of the Weredeer. I want to introduce you, my enemies, to Mr. Ben Johnson. Mr. Ben, how are you?
Hello, doing well, doing well. So you have a bunch of enemies. This is no good. What are you
I,
broadcasting to the people that you're combating here?
it's very in right now to just say evil plans in public with no nothing bad happening. So very very popular to do that right now. Plus, enemies get to see what I'm doing, so they can't say, oh, you are such and such and you did such and such. No, I do video whole time.
Yeah,
So
they won't call you sneaky, that's for sure. You know what I mean? You just put it out there. They could see the whole time. If they cared enough, they would actually stop you. That's the problem. Nobody cares anymore.
it is very very sad, but you know what, it is a great time to be part of Diaper Mafia, which you should know. I hear a rumor that in the hashtag Shakespeare shitstorm, your friend dipped into Diaper Mafia. Is this true?
Yeah, yeah, entirely. So I showed up to work as part of the art department on hashtag Shakespeare shitstorm. I gave up on life and went back up to Tromaville for the summer. And when I showed up, the prop master, a guy named Derek Johnson, no relation, Derek Johnson, no relation. We he comes bouncing up to me and he goes, "Hey man, Lloyd wants Dr. Mafia in this club thing." And he goes, "You're gonna be Dr. Mafia with me." I said, "Okay, cool,
There you go.
sure." I don't know that actually ever came from Lloyd. I don't know that he said we need men in diapers for this. I honestly think my buddy just wanted to put a diaper on and wanted a friend is what I think it started. That's how all mafias start. Is one guy just needs a friend.
Well, I will let you know that these days it is optional to do diaper because some people are into it, some not as much. And these days you can do diaper with pants on, and it's not even noticeable. But you
Oh,
definitely.
I thought you meant like you could go like completely bottomless, and
Oh,
that would be cool.
Winnie the Poohing, I have no particular issue with. Depending on where you are, you may not want to do that, but you do you, you do you. Which reminds me, after interview, send me address. You owe membership dues.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
we'll talk
yeah.
afterwards. But uh,
Membership.
but let
Lord.
me jump in because you have done work with trauma for years. Can you tell the ignorant, what have you been doing these years? Tell us about your work. We want to know more.
Oh, so in the summer of 2000, I originally went up to the old Troma building, 733 Ninth Avenue,
Okay.
there in Hell's Kitchen. It's some kind of bar now, I think. But anyway, I'd sent an email like earlier in the either the fall before or like earlier that winter, whatever. Just basically saying, "Hey, I'm a film student. I don't know how or where to get any experience. I can come and work in your office." It was one of those things, because Troma's famously always had that thing up for observerships. Back when
Yes.
I was young, they still called us interns. Is that kind of thing. I don't think. Um, Anyway, I don't know that they can use that word anymore. It's on the canceled list, I think, as intern. But anyway, so I sent this email and I got a note back, and it was like, yeah, sure. If you can find a place to stay, you can come and work here. We need dates, we need this. So we got everything worked out. And that summer, I got there early May and then left like late August to go back to school. It was crazy. We shot Edge TV that entire summer.
Nice.
Troma was still at the forefront of a bunch of stuff that they led the industry on
Oh,
and then quickly abandoned. So there used to be like a web community. It was sort of built off of and from Newgrounds, uh, called Tromaville.com. And you used to could have your email before Facebook, before MySpace, before any of this crap, you used to could have like an official email address at tromaville.com. And those guys were up on the fourth floor in a little building across the way. Um, so, Troma was in the middle of all of this stuff. We were shooting Edge TV. Lloyd would encourage us to write and then go out and shoot for the show. We had stuff out there. And then the other fun thing we did that summer is we got a webcam in the office
Mhm.
that took a picture like every 7 seconds, right?
Oh,
Every 7 or 8 seconds, it would take a picture.
okay.
So on Wednesdays,
Mhm.
after the office would clear out, we would do the trauma, sex, and violence show from the office. So again, Lloyd would have us write out script. We would go and we would pick up our props, and then we would shoot that evening with just the webcam, and it would stream out live. So early days of live streaming, all from trauma.com, all right before anybody else had ever done it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is pretty incredible. So, no, go ahead, please.
No, that was my first summer though. That was my first summer. That's how I got jumped in. When I showed up, we were in the middle of like test screenings for Citizen Toxie. So, we would go out and get homeless people off the streets. We would pull them in, we would show them a movie, and then make them fill out uh, questionnaires about it.
What did you think of the? Because I give credit to Troma. They have several. They make movie, then they make a documentary of what it was like behind the film. I was curious. What did you think of the behind the scenes documentary? Did you feel good, bad, one way or the other?
Meaning about like Citizen Toxie or
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
one for a shitstorm or which
Uh,
one? All of them. The idea of.
yeah, go it. You can do a specific one or any of them because there are just so many, and I have to say many of them are very informative. I will say.
Well, I mean that's the idea. So there's there's a point where and this is me projecting, right? This is
Mhm.
me projecting. There's a point where I think um Trauma Lloyd, the entire Trauma team uh wants to go out and show, wants to teach, wants to be mentors,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
So the idea is like you don't have you don't have to give service to this weird sort of like gatekeeping culture,
Yeah,
right? If you want to make a thing,
go for it.
just make it. It's
Yeah.
easy. I mean, easy in quotes, it's
Sure.
not, you got to learn a couple of things. You actually have to do it. It's not like somebody's going to do it for you. But if you want to know the steps, here are the steps. So it becomes this like film school. And the idea of documenting these things, that's where Terra Firma and Farts of Darkness, the making of Terra Firma, that's where those two movies are indistinguishable.
Yeah.
And one is the making of a movie that is a send up of making ofs. You
Right.
know what I mean? And it's meta before people were really doing meta. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like it's this giant fourth wall breaking fan service mind explosion. So I got hooked on the BTS stuff, and we did one for Curse of the Weredeer that's actually it's 30 minutes longer than
Oh,
the movie itself.
oh wow.
Uh, and arguably more compelling, I think anyway. We're calling it Deer and Loathing in South Tromaville. It's
I
is
like
what
that title. I like that.
yeah. So I mean and the whole notion is we we wanted to play into sort of every little trauma trope that we could,
Yeah.
every trauma trope that we could. So when you start looking at sort of those documentaries, either they're named after other great documentaries.
Yeah.
Or they're named after some sort of like literary work. So we kind of dipped into that too.
So you'll have to remind me. I actually have some pickle brine right here. I will send to you since you're talking about Terra Firma, which is a very interesting film. And
Delightful.
very good scenes. But let's dive in a little bit. So,
Yeah, go for it. Go
yeah,
for it. Ask away. But you talk about pickles.
yeah.
I keep I keep it
Oh, okay, very nice.
ready to go.
I
Yeah.
love pickles. It's funny. I know this guy in prison, Mr. Casey. He does his own pickling. We became friends. Well, you don't need to know how we know each other from prison, but guy Casey makes delicious, delicious pickling, and he does a little bit of everything, as you can see. So perfect. So we will share pickles one day. But I want to make sure we talk about Curse of the Weredeer.
Yeah.
Tell me about the movie. Tell me, importantly, where can people also see it? So tell me about movie first. Tell me about what is Curse of
Okay.
Fear.
What is it? What is it? That's a wonderful question. I like to tell people at its core, it's a story about the need for transparency in our relationships.
Hmm,
Is That's what I tell people.
I like that.
Um, and I think that sort of pans out if you really look at it. At the end of the day, on its surface, it's a story about a guy who gets bit by a mythical creature out in the woods, and things start happening to his body that he can't explain.
Hmm.
Um, when we get into the relationship sort of aspect of it, the reason why I say it's about the need for transparency in our relationships is because it's only when our lead really faces what's happening to him
Hmm.
and he's honest with himself, he's honest with his girl, he's honest with the people around him, that he can really actually start to get to the crux of the issue. You know what I mean? When he can really start to see a path forward to ending this horrible thing that's plaguing him.
You
Yeah.
know, I really like that summary. I was fortunate enough to see film myself. I give shout out because I feel movie reveals truth behind bachelor parties and when men go camping, what happens. I don't want to spoil, but I feel like it is first accurate movie to talk about that. So I give props to you and your team for doing that. Uh,
Well, thank you. We and that's the thing. None of us are hunters, so we had to do a lot of research about what happens at like hunting and deer camps and things like that. And everything that I punched into Google, it was like a group of men go into woods. Like all the videos that I got back, that showed me, and I did hours and hours of research. My hands were so tired,
I mean,
one from typing and one from uh but no, so, and that's the other thing. So we never really like in talking to Lloyd about getting the movie together, because God bless, we had Lloyd Kaufman on as our sole producer. He plays our governor, so Uncle Lloydie pops out for that. But in talking to him about the whole thing, he's like, he goes, "You have an opportunity here to say something about hunting and culture, and what all this is." He goes, "Because it, in a weird way, we get into a little bit of sort of urban sprawl. At the very least, we kind of mention it." Um, but what's happening is, people are taking away natural environments as humanity grows, and as our numbers increase, we continue to spread out. We're killing the natural environment. These animals have nowhere to go. That's why you have raccoons in New York City, like rooting through the garbage, fighting the rats. Out where I stay, we got deer left and right coming in. I've got deer and coyote running through my backyard constantly. Um, they're oft seen as these terrible things, but then you look at, well, what has caused this,
right.
and it is our constant and continued sort of sprawl. Then you can get into other hunting things, like you can get into the notion of like trophy hunting, right? These people who kill these fucking animals just to put their heads on their walls. It's
Right.
ridiculous. And then you get into actual, like, real conservation, and you get to the folks that actually live off the land, who they'll go out, they'll bag them like 3 deer. That's going to feed them, for months. That's going to feed them for months. And they treat the land well, and they whatever. So it's a multi-layered, heavily nuanced conversation. Are we necessarily against hunting? No, we're against the mindless slaughter of cute little baby animals just to put heads on your walls. That I'll take a stand against all the time.
So let me ask you, because of course, trauma films, especially Lloyd ones, have deeper meaning messages in all his movies, which is part of what makes them so great. And I
Sure.
love the image of the Weredeer in the movie. I think your explanation very good. So if people are curious to watch movie with meaning in the storyline about relationships, of course, seeing a Weredeer, how can people see movie?
They never ever can. They never ever can. We're keeping it
Okay, bye
locked
bye.
away. It only exists inside of your brain, whatever your brain. No, we're playing as part of Hands Across Tromerica all summer long or all spring into summer. We just kicked off the tour in March, March 22nd in Cincinnati, Ohio, where we screened alongside. A Rise of the Super Tromettes, Kill Dolly Kill, hashtag Shakespeare Shitstorm is in that bundle. We've got
Sweet.
Brandon Bassam's Bring on the Damned,
Yep.
and then we played alongside the world premiere of Ricky Glore's Sweetmeats.
Perfect.
Uh, we kicked that off in March, the 22nd. Last weekend, the 29th, what just happened as we record this, we played Eugene, Oregon. Now we're bouncing back, I think, back to Ohio. We're playing Columbus. We're playing Golden, Colorado. We're down in Winter Park, Florida on 419. And then we have other dates, parts unknown right now. Um, but we're wrapping everything up in Memphis, June 7th. But we have a couple of dates in May as well.
Do shout out to remind everyone to go to Troma Entertainment to see what it is. Check them out on Facebook, X, Blue Sky, all over social media. You can find Troma. They are listing the dates, they are listing the movies, so you will absolutely be able to see it. If it's not at a city near you, what are you doing? Stop being lazy. Get in your car and drive to place. What is?
Drive. Yeah, we went to me and my barbecue man. We drove up to Cincinnati, like a little 4 hour ride, and it's a 13 hour marathon of
That's
Troma's
awesome.
latest and greatest. And you
Wonderful.
know what? Let me tell you, it never is 13 hours. Felt like 20. It was great.
Let me ask you before I have to go, where can people find you? Because I know you did this great movie, getting a lot of attention, awards. Yeah, I know you have other projects in work. So where can people find you?
I am yarn underscore Yeti on Instagram. I do more on there than pretty much anywhere else, and I'm still very lazy about my Instagram. But yarn underscore Yeti. You can find me there. Shit.house.productions also on Instagram. You can find me there. And then yeah, just keep an eye out. Hands Across Tromerica. We are getting ready for our physical release, so we're compiling all of the fun, truly traumatic extras that you want, and then I'm sure eventually we will find our way, slowly but surely, to Trauma Now. So eventually we'll get there.
I can't wait. Well, for you, my friend, I appreciate you making time. Me and you will
Always.
celebrate over pickles sometime. I have some pickle brine, and I cannot wait to see movie again. For you watching, my enemies, go see Curse of the World. It is awesome. Go see movie. All
And
right.
his friends too, if you got any buddies, I don't know, but tell everybody should see. I like to tell people there's literally something for everyone in this film. There really is. There's a dude on dude love, dude on lady love. There's a poignant love story. There's stuff for the kids too. We rip off six dicks in one sequence. I mean, there's literally something for everyone.
What more could you ask for? All right, Mr. Ben Johnson, I will talk to you soon. Be well, everyone, except for my enemies. I hope you're all destroyed. Bye bye.
Yes.